So if you want to scale a business in 2026 and finally have something that actually produces cash flow for you, I'm going to walk through a step-by-step process in 3 different sections, all the way from 0 up to 250K a month. And if you're wondering, what is he going to tell me about hitting 250K a month? My name is Daniel Fazio. I'm the co-founder of Client Ascension and ListKit. Client Ascension is a coaching company. ListKit is a software company. ListKit was valued at $48.6 million in a raise, and we make about between $1.2 and $1.5 million a month. I personally take home hundreds of thousands of dollars per month in profit. I'm going to walk through the phases, pretty much exactly what's going to happen to you, because one, I also started from 0, so I'm going to give you insight as to what I've done along the way. Then I also coach thousands of other people, and I can actively see what they're doing, what isn't working for them. So I'm going to relay all of this information to you to give you the maximum probability that you can make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible. It's not to say that this is a guarantee that you're going to make money, because you can be a fuck all retard and not know anything at all and literally everything poorly. So it's not a guarantee. You could in fact make $0 trying to make a business, or you can make $0 working with me if you're just not intelligent enough. All right, cool. We're going to go through section 1, which is going to be 0 to 10K a month. What happens here? How do you get from 0 to 10K a month as quickly as possible? So the first thing is that you need to pick a front-end cold traffic offer. So what a front-end cold traffic offer is something that actively sells to cold traffic. Throughout your life, you're going to come across a lot of people who say that they close at this percent, or I have this and I have this. You'll talk to clients on sales calls and they'll say that they close this and their business is so successful, yada, yada, yada. But what's actually happening is that all of their business comes from referrals or people that they know. While they may have an offer or product that can successfully be sold to a referral or somebody they know, they don't have something that can be sold to a complete stranger. You do not have a real business until you have a product that can be sold to a complete stranger. And once you unlock this ability, it's actually the most profound thing that you'll ever experience in your life, because it's completely impossible to ever be poor again. What I'm going to do inside of my programs, we generally teach people 5 different front-end cold traffic offers that actively work to be sold against cold traffic. And the main 5 are these: cold email lead gen as a service. This is where you send cold emails for clients, then you get paid for the amount of calls that you book them, or some other pricing mechanism. This is generally the highest success probability for a beginner. This business specifically, it's pretty interesting. It's just a very simple business to run. Next is content marketing. So this is when you script and edit content for clients. It might be like long form YouTube. It might be ghostwriting LinkedIn posts or Twitter posts. It might be making short form content and scripting that out and having it edited. Then we have ads and funnels. This is when you write ads, write funnels, produce ads, run ads for a client, and it is like directly to a funnel to either book them calls or make them direct sales of some other kind of product. Then we have e-com email marketing. This is where you write, design, and send emails and make email sequences and automations for e-commerce brands. And then we have AI automation builds. This is where you use AI and different automation tools to create automated processes enabled with AI for clients. And this might be processes in regards to marketing or sales, or mostly operations and fulfillment for their business. Why are all 5 of these very special? It's because these can all be automated with AI friendly. Like for instance, you use AI to make cold email scripts and build lead lists. You use AI to write content pieces. You use AI to write ads and funnels. You use AI to write and design emails. You use AI to do the automations, right? They're very AI friendly businesses. And that's important because it severely cuts down on the amount of manual fulfillment that is required to execute these businesses. So if I were to tell you to make any business at all, it would be one of these. Okay, now step 2 of this process as a complete beginner is that you need to learn how to fulfill product. So let's say you start a cold email lead gen agency, you've never done it before, or you start a content marketing agency, you've never done it before. You have to learn how to actually fulfill the product that you're selling. So like a cold email lead gen agency, you have to know how to register domains, register inboxes under those domains, maybe put them into a private sending infrastructure. You have to learn how to build lead lists. You have to learn how to write cold email scripts that are actually good. You have to learn how to set up the automations to actually do it. You have to learn how to do the inbox management to book the calls. You have to learn how to build the client. You just got to learn all these things. When I first started in my last video, which is kind of like a prerequisite to this video, you should watch it. It'll be linked in the description. It'd be the first video linked in the description. But I talked about how one of the first things I did, one of my first successful agencies in like 2018 was Instagram growth agency. And this is where I did follow, unfollow for people. That doesn't work anymore. In that video, I talked about how the way I figured out how to do that is I saw somebody else doing it. And then I went on YouTube and looked up how to grow Instagram pages. And I watched every single video on the first 4 pages. And then there was some guy and he had a course on it. And then I bought his course. So I got like more advanced teaching on it. That's how I learned how to do it. Because you need to have a trait I call figure it the fuck out ability. If there's some gap in your knowledge and you know that filling this gap is essential for you making money, then you need to have the ability to just figure it the fuck out without needing to be spoon fed by somebody. You get what I'm saying? You need to have figure it the fuck out ability. So you learn this through YouTube and courses. Now I don't want to hear this bullshit. We're it's like, well, of course, Daniel, you're going to say that you sell some kind of course or coaching program, so you're going to say that somebody needs to buy a course. Then don't fucking buy it. I don't give a shit. All right. 3, use risk reversal to sign more clients. Okay, so when you have a risk reversal, like you use like a money back guarantee, or you say somebody that you're going to work on a performance basis, this reduces the risk for the client. One, it gets you way more sales calls, because the purpose of a guarantee is really to just get more calls, but it's not to actually close them on the call. It's like saying, like advertising that you have a guarantee substantially increases the amount of calls you get. Why is this important? Because you get more reps on calls. You just get more reps. You can't progress if you don't get anybody on the phone with you. Like, this is how these products are sold. You have to sell them on the phone. And it's really not that hard. It's a very logic-based selling. I kind of talked about that in the last video I did. And I also talked about how the math of refund requests versus the increased volume of people you sign is like outlandishly outweighed by how much more money you make. So like, it really doesn't matter. Like, you can really kind of expect like a 2% refund rate. And you use these things called stipulations, where a client just can't get a refund for fuck all no reason. It's like their fault. They don't get results, and then they ask you for it doesn't work like that. Like, when you give a client a money back guarantee, you put stipulations that they have to actually do something, so that it can't be their fault. It doesn't work. It has to be your fault in order for a refund to be given. You get what I'm saying? And then what this also allows you to do, because you're getting more reps on calls, you get more reps on client work. You get to actually do your thing. Say you're a cold email agency. You get to send more cold emails for more people's businesses, which accelerates the process of you getting progressively better at cold email itself. But there's a point, like, you're obviously not going to be very good in the beginning, which is fine, but you need to work with clients who have a variety of different types of things they sell to, a variety of different target markets and niches. And then you get all this experience, and it all aggregates together until a point where you're just really good at cold email. And when you're really good at cold email and you know who it does work for and it doesn't work for, you can select clients better. And then when you select a good client, you can get a client really good results, which means you can get paid a lot more money, which means you can get really good case studies, which means they stay longer, which means they refer people. It's a whole upward cycle. You just need more reps. It just takes practice. You don't get good at anything in life without practice. Okay, 4, document all your processes. And this is in regards to both your client acquisition and client fulfillment. You need to just be writing down and building processes around what you're doing for your client acquisition and what you're doing for your client fulfillment. I'll give you, for instance, let's say the way that you're getting clients is that you're sending Dream 100 outreach. You need to build a process where around each day, every Monday, the people that we're going to send outreach to, like, that list is generated on Monday. And then what happens every day at 9:30 a.m., we're going to make the actual Dream 100 deliverable documents, and then we're going to send those to 10 people a day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 are sent a day. And then on Monday, the new list is made, and then we send another 10 each day, the next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's like a whole process. You get what I'm saying? It's a repeatable thing that is always done no matter what. And then the same thing is for your client fulfillment. Like, you have a client, and it's like, we do this thing for the client at this time every single day, no exceptions. And then there's just documentation of exactly how to do it. It can be screen recordings on Loom, and then you just house all of these inside of one giant Google Doc that you keep bookmarked in your Google Chrome tab. Side note, if you use Google Chrome, what you probably have right now is your personal Google Chrome with like all your own bookmarks and shit. Make a new Chrome profile instance, and then this is your business. This is your business Chrome profile, and you have all your business shit bookmarked at the top of that. That's what I do for client extension and ListKit. So my personal has its own, client extension has its own, and ListKit has its own Chrome instance. Okay, let's talk about client acquisition processes. From 0 to 10K a month, you're gonna be using 2 different ways of getting clients. Dream 100, cold email. This is the automated way though. What is Dream 100? Dream 100 is when you identify somebody. Let's say you're an ads or funnels agency, and you're gonna find some person who you think would otherwise be a good prospect, and you make a document that has a whole sales page written for them, a whole VSL page written for them, 20 different ads written for them, an opt-in email sequence written for them, a pre-call email sequence written for them. Then you make this document, you just send it to them unprompted. Just manually over your Gmail or in the DMs, ideally both at the same time. You just send it over to them. And what you really want to do is you want to pick about 20 different niches. And this is like when you're in the beginning and you're doing like niche discovery and you're not really sure who to sell to. You want to send 10 of these a day to 20 different niches. So like 20 days in a row. And you just see which niche responds the best to you. Now, you're probably wondering, Daniel, that's a lot of shit to put inside of a Dream 100 document. Like, how will I make those? And the answer is AI. I obviously have my own prompts to do this, and I give my students prompts to do this, and exactly how to produce all of these. You're not my student, so you have to go do it yourself. If you want to be a part of that, you can join at the link in the description. It's go.clientextension.ai. But if you don't join, you can just build it yourself. And the premise is that you just have a giant, extremely valuable document that you're just giving to people. You have to severely fuck this up to not get responses to it. It's interesting. People will ask me, Daniel, like, what really is the response rate on this? And it's interesting because I'll have students who, it's a very select few of them, they'll complain that that it isn't working for them. And then I go look at the stuff they're sending and it's just complete fucking nonsense. It's just garbage. Like they just haven't followed the directions of what I said at all. And it's actually astounding to me because it's all created through AI, but it's like they're so fucking lazy. They can't even like take a second look at it and make sure they're like not even like using my prompts correctly. They're just doing retarded shit. It's actually really interesting. Now, the second way is automated cold email. So this costs money. So like Dream 100, this is really not that much money. It's only a little bit of money. Cold email, when you do automated, like a high volume of it, you have to get a bunch of domains, a bunch of inboxes, you get a bunch of lead lists, you got to use a sending tool. This starts to be a lot of money. So generally, I recommend $600 per month minimum if you're going to do automated cold email. But Dream 100 can be $0 per month. Actually, $20 a month. In exchange for these two, this has more labor. You have to do more work. But the $600 a month is less labor. It's an exchange. Like you pay less money, but you work more. Right? So Dream 100 is completely automated. You just have to send the shit. Right? You can use AI to find the people in the niche, and I show my students how to do that. But it's substantially less money, and it works. The response rates on Dream 100 are way higher. The response rates on automated cold email are way lower. You can see how this begins to make sense. Okay, so what's important with all this is that you need to test scripts. You need to test who you're sending stuff to. You need to test what kind of Dream 100 document you're doing. You need to test what kind of outreach message you're sending with the Dream 100 document. If you're doing automated cold email, you need to test the niches. You need to test the sequences. You need to test. I've just worked with thousands of people. I just know what you guys do when you're first starting. There's just a select few categories, maybe like 15, 20% of people. There's such a fucking dickhead with the way they operate this, where it's like, I'm going to just, do you tell me what to say? I'm going to send it. And if it doesn't work, like it's your fault. Fuck you. Like this is a scam. And it's like, bro, please go fuck yourself. Like, please get fucked. You need to test. You need to take personal responsibility for the success of your business. This is just something you need to understand. Like exactly 0 people on earth give a fuck about the success of your business to the degree by which you will give a fuck about it. You get what I'm saying? If you don't give a shit about testing and actually exerting mental fucking bandwidth into the thing that you do, it's just not going to work for you, bro. Holding is not going to work out for you, and you need to stop doing that. You need to test. Take personal responsibility, actually test stuff. Don't have somebody write you a script and then you send the script, you're like, oh, that didn't work, scam. You need to learn the fucking process of actually writing a script. This is why we don't just like give people scripts. Like we'll help you write stuff inside of our stuff, but the thing is that like, you need to learn like why something works. So we just give fuck tons of examples of stuff that has worked, and it's like you need to learn why it works and how to apply it to your specific situation based off the specific product you're selling to the specific niche. You just need to like exert actual mental fucking bandwidth. Section 2, 10K a month to 30K to 50K a month. It's kind of difficult to give you an exact cutoff here, but it's around 30 to 50K a month we're going to talk about. Point 1 is content. So at about this point in your journey, you know more than 99.9% of the clients in your niche. So let's say you're doing cold email lead gen for B2B SaaS companies. You know more about cold email specifically for B2B SaaS companies than 99.9% of people who run a B2B SaaS company. You just do. It really doesn't take that much. If you haven't been exposed to like thousands of clients or sales calls or just like people on the internet, you operate under the premise that, oh, someone runs a business, they know a lot. They're super knowledgeable, which isn't the case. Most people are retarded. So like when you have even like a base level of understanding of this right here, like you're at 10K a month, you have like 3-4 clients or something like that, and you've maybe been doing this for a couple months, you legitimately actually know more than 99.9% of the people you're selling. You just do, generally, which means you can teach your knowledge. You can teach your knowledge ideally on YouTube. Now, it's important that you need to make sure the platform that you're consuming content on has your actual fucking target audience on the platform. So like for instance, I don't know, let's say you're selling to like fucking farmers or something, and you're like, I want to make content for wheat farmers on YouTube or something, but I don't know, maybe they fucking do. You have to make sure that the niche you're targeting is actually on the platform. A good way to test this is just start searching up shit about, like, say you sell to med spas, just search up like med spa marketing on YouTube and watch the first 3 pages of YouTube content. You'll get an idea of like who's making content, what they're saying, what kind of content they're making, who is getting views, if they're selling an offer, what kind of offer it is it a done for you offer, is it done with you offer, how much do they charge? What are they saying? You'll get a sense of like what is going on. But what you need to understand is that with this content here, it's that there's two types of people in the world. You got do it for me and show me how. I'm generally a show me how person. All the clients you sign, they're this. This is done for you offers. And then show me how is done with you and do it yourself. So if you don't know, done for you, DFY is like an agency service. Done with you is like a coaching program. Do it yourself as a course. Generally, these kind of like tie together. What you're selling to these people. Now, what you need to understand is that what you're thinking is if I teach my knowledge, they're just going to go do it themselves. But that's not actually the case. What that is the people who are going to buy done with you, never not going to buy done for you. People who buy done for you are never not going to buy done for you because they just are this person. They just are a do it for me person. There's very little you can do to convince them to buy this. We've actually had a problem with that in some instances where ListKit has a done for you offer. We help people do cold email, and then Client Ascension, like AI Assisted Agency and Olympia, those are done with you offers. And sometimes like a do it for me guy comes onto those calls. And then obviously our salespeople are trying to tell them like, no, you should do it done for you. And like, you cannot do that. You can't fucking do that. It just will not. They're like, no, I'm not buying coaching. It's almost like they get furious doing it. Don't think that you doing this is going to ruin this. It won't. It's just not going to happen. And what it'll actually do is you will get show me how people on the phone with you, in which case you should just like spin up a done with you where you just teach them for, I don't know, you charge them fucking $5,000 or something. You teach them how to do what you do. That's a completely plausible way of going about this. Stop consuming this fucking retard content where it's like, if you sell a course or coaching, it's a fucking scam. And it's like, what you fail to understand is that this is like 50% of the population, and like 50% of the population wants to buy this instead of this. Don't be a fucking retard. Like, just sell people what they want to buy. All courses are a scam. Like, retarded. Now, I have to put this point here because I see this a lot, is consistency. I see this a lot. This is actually a very common thing where you'll have some kind of marketing mechanism, like you're doing Dream 100, you're doing cold email, you're doing cold calls, then you discover a new way of signing clients, or you start learning a new way of signing clients, like running ads. And now the problem with this is a lot of people, they'll just fucking stop doing what they were doing before. So like they were posting YouTube content. YouTube content was working for them. They started learning ads, and that was taking up a lot of the time. So they stopped doing the YouTube content. You can't do that. What you're doing like this, say you were doing YouTube content and like your business is going up. So it's up, and then you start learning ads, or you stop making the YouTube content, and like you're learning ads, and the ads aren't exactly working yet because it takes a little bit to learn, and like your business is going like this. It's kind of like you're trying to learn the ads, and like the cash flow is getting crunched because ads cost money, and you stop the YouTube. So like, you know what I'm saying? It's like down. You need to stop fucking doing that. It's almost like you went up, step ladder, up, and then like you stop doing the thing that works, and boom, down. You can't do that. When you have something that works, you need to make like a very diligent effort to ensure that you don't stop doing that thing. If YouTube is working for you, if Dream 100 is working for you, if cold email is working for you, don't stop doing it. Before you introduce a new mechanism, you need to make sure that you have either the system, people, or processes in place to make sure that you never stop doing that thing. If the reason you stopped doing your cold email when you started learning ads or you started posting content is because it's a lot of work, then stop doing the new thing. Go hire somebody and train them how to do the old thing to make sure it keeps going, and then make sure it's going, make sure they got it all on lock, and then you can go do the new thing once you have freed up that time. Do not make that mistake. There's also another thing here, I'm going to add this generally, is that a lot of people do this thing. They stop client acquisition to focus on fulfillment. Don't fucking do that. Every single day for the rest of your life, you need to conduct lead generation for new clients, marketing, sales. You never stop lead gen to focus on fulfillment. It's the most retarded fucking thing you could ever think of. Don't ever do that. You're going to think that one day. Don't be retarded. The reason I said that was because this is required in order to execute the next phase of this, that I'm literally just going to call Operation Big Boy Business, because you're going to start running some real shit now. It's big boy shit now. Okay, so first thing is that part of this is that you need to raise prices or charge quarterly only. What you have to understand is there's an inverse relationship between price and churn. When price is lower, churn is up. When price is up, churn is down. Why is that? It's because the people who buy really cheap stuff are generally really cheap people, and they run shitty businesses. I said this earlier in the video, where you think everyone who runs a business is like magically has their shit together, but the reality of the situation is that they're all retards. What you have to understand is that most people just have no money. They're dead broke. If something doesn't work immediately, they churn. It's done. They just churn out and it's over. So what that means is that you start having monthly churn numbers of like 25%. What does charging quarterly do? It locks in 3 months. So you have 0% churn month 1, 0% churn month 2, and then the renewal, it gets you to a 6-month client. What's important to note with this is when I'm saying charge quarterly, a lot of you guys are thinking like, oh yeah, charge quarterly contract. It's a quarterly contract paid monthly. No, No, that defeats the fucking purpose. You probably have your shit together. You probably pay your bills. You probably do all of that. Most people are fucking retards. Like, you really just don't understand until you've been exposed to so many people, is that they'll just not fucking pay you. Yeah, they signed a quarterly contract and it's like, they'll just not give a fuck and just not pay you. So it's, you charge quarterly only. There's no fucking payment plan. There's no monthly payments for it. There's no a little down and a little later. If you work with me, it's fucking quarterly only. Anything else, get fucked. You have to understand, this is super important, because what I'm getting at here is that you need your average cash collected to be anywhere from like 4,000 to like ideally 10,000. This is obviously the best situation, but like the minimum is 4,000. Why? If you're charging like fucking $1,500 a month or something like that, the amount of mental bandwidth and mental capacity that is needed to expend on a client for $1,500 a month when you're running like an operation that's around 10K, 20K, 30K a month, it's just too much. You have a team that has to deal with them and bullshit like that, and like then they fucking churn the next month, and you might as well have just lost money. It's just a whole fucking waste of time, and it's too much. You just can't do that. Now, the reasoning for needing this right here is because you're going to start running ads. This is like how you unlock, this is how you like really turn your business into like a capital production machine instead of a job. And this is like kind of how you need to start thinking of it. It's just like a capital multiplication system. So let me walk through some reasoning here real quick. If you're selling a B2B offer, which you are, to clients who make 1 million a year plus, your cost per call will be somewhere $200 to $400 each per call booked. Now, your show rates will be about 60%. This means your cost per live call is $333 to $666. If your close rates are 20%, this means your CAC, cost to acquire a customer, is between $1,665 and $3,330. Now, this is assuming your close rate's 20%, dude. It's probably going to be lower in the beginning. But why is this important? Because if you're only fucking collecting $1,500 a month, now you're just trying to operate like a fucking venture-backed company, which you're not. You're not doing that. You're a cash flow business. You need to be profitable immediately. This is not for you. Unless you have multiple millions of dollars in the bank and you raise funding and you don't care, you cannot do that. And even like 4,000 in this instance, like you're still fulfillment costs. So you charge 4,000 quarterly and your gross margin is 75%. That means you have 3K gross profit, not accounting for your acquisition costs, which could fucking be more than $3,000. You guys say, but ideally it's this, but even then less than $1,500 in net profit for fucking 3 months of work. It's just garbage. It's nonsense. Like, you really need to get these numbers up to like ideally 10K plus per client. Like, it's just really important that you're able to do that if you start spending money on ads. Even if you aren't spending money on ads, just like the raw rate by which you make fucking substantially more profit so much quickly is like really important. I talk about this concept called deliverable stacking. I talked about it in my last video as well. Again, that same video I'm referencing, that's somewhere in the link in the description. You should go watch it. Deliverable stacking is how you charge more. It's also like cross-selling, upselling. So say you're a cold email lead gen agency. What you do is you package your shit up with more stuff. You package it up content with funnels, with ads, and then you become like a whole like growth operating marketer type fuckery for your clients like that. And then like this is how you charge people like 10K to 30K plus. That's generally how you do that. So like for instance, I have an offer that's 32K. I have a 32K version of AI assisted agency. AI assisted agency is between 2,997 all the way up to 32K. And then Olympia is 14K per quarter. List kit charges only quarterly now. And I think the minimum is like 4K is the minimum. And then it goes all the way up to you can spend like 50K. I have huge scales of shit. So like AI assisted agency is between 2,997 and 32K. Olympia 14K quarter. There's all sorts of shit. Like people can spend a lot of fucking money. You need to have products where somebody can spend a lot of money because you only need small percent of people to pay way more. And then that makes your profit go fucking way up, way up. This is how you make the most profit. Making extremely expensive product offerings is how all the profit is made generally. Just to like summarize it, main objective going from 10K to 50K a month is one, more expensive product so that you can run ads to it. That's what it is. You need a more expensive product so that you can run ads to it. That's kind of how you get to 50K a month generally. Okay, let's talk about section 3, which is 30K to 50K all the way to 250K a month plus. People responsible for roles. I'm going to give you one example that unlocked something in my mind, and maybe it was over a year ago, longer than that, but it needs to be separation of marketing and sales and fulfillment. The person who is in charge of marketing and sales needs to not be involved in the day-to-day fulfillment of clients, or more importantly, the communication with clients. Why is this? Just play plays out so consistently across every single fucking human on the planet. Assume marketing and sales are the same department right now. They're not, but assume they are. If the person who is in charge of getting leads and closing these leads is also responsible for doing the work of the person that is closed, they will subconsciously pull their punches and not go as hard as they want to. When there is a total separation of the person who is in charge of getting the money and like they get the money and like their work is done, they will go psychopathically hard on the acquisition of people, because normally this person drives their dopamine from marketing and sales and the collection of money, which I do as well. And that person cannot be responsible for the fulfillment of the clients. They can't be responsible for the actual communication with the client, which is like the main bottleneck. You can't do that. Once you're able to fully get the marketing sales people out of client flow, so this might be you, is that it unlocks something. It's like complete fucking turbo hyperscale can occur here because you'll just go psycho mode on it. Okay, so you need high IQ individuals. This means paying people more. It means sharing more profit. It means paying people a fucking lot more than you'd otherwise be comfortable doing. Now, there's a mistake you might make in doing this. A lot of people think, this is always so interesting to me when somebody who's never run a business before says some shit like, oh, just go hire a VA. Like, oh yeah, just go hire a fucking $4 an hour, like 70 IQ retard Somali to fucking do some integral part of your business. They're like, yeah, let's just do that. Like, it doesn't work like that. You don't just hire somebody. You might be under the premise that you can just have some fuck all random guy who is getting paid normally like $7 an hour, $8 an hour, and then like you just pay him more, and magically like a whole new brilliant level of intelligence is unlocked on this person because you pay him more. No, it doesn't work like that. Now you're just paying him more to be a fucking retard still. You get what I'm saying? So you don't do that. You need to go actively find people who are in fact brilliant. That's how this works. To hire somebody is to actively seek out. It's to actively do dozens of different interviews and actively be advertising that you are hiring and actively be posting job roles and actively be networking and like doing outbound messages yourself to try and get people from who work at other companies. You get what I'm saying? That's how this shit works. That's how you find them. Is you don't just fucking hire someone. It's not how it works. There's active training, there's active management, and it's like when you find somebody, like you'll know when you find them. When you find somebody who you really feel like they have the trait of figure it the fuck out ability, like you'll know, and you'll know that this guy is fucking it. And then you release control of shit to him and you start asking them, what do you think the best way to do this is? And they say it should be like this, and then you let them do the shit and you pay them enough money so that they're actually happy to be in that role. You have to have that. This is a requirement. You need to start getting really good people inside of your client fulfillment. It's the only fucking way. Next point here is you start having sales staff. You start having closers, maybe setters. So it's generally 10% cash collected that you pay these people. It's commission only. It's not a salary role generally. Okay, and then this kind of ties into proper incentive structure. So like say for instance, you have a client success manager who's in charge of client fulfillment. And what you want from your client success manager is you want them to have lower churn and more upsells. That's what you want out of your client success managers. You want the clients to stay, and then you want the clients to get upsold to pay more money. That's the whole fucking function of a CSM. Everything that their job entails is with the express objective to get these two things, and that's it. Literally, that's it. So if we want more of that, don't you think it's a good idea to incentivize this? How do you do that? You pay them for clients under management and commissions on upsells. So what your CSMs are actually doing is they have their own little book of business inside of your business. Like they have their clients and they want to keep their clients so they keep getting paid from the clients. And then they want to upsell their clients because they're going to get sales commissions on the upselling of the clients. And then the client is also under their management still once they're upsold. You incentivize the things that you want to occur, and then those things start occurring. Okay, now let's talk about client acquisition processes during this period of time. Okay, so still, you're very consistent. Let's say you have YouTube and you do YouTube. That means you've been posting weekly for 6 to 12 months straight. No exceptions. Absolutely zero exceptions at all. You've continuously done this over and over and over again. Nothing has ever stopped you from doing it. You're very consistent. If you fail the consistency, just nothing ever happens. It is more important to be consistent. Okay, now I'm going to give you some stuff that we do. So like I have a lot of my YouTube pushes to an opt-in page. This is some of the stuff I'm pushing YouTube too. So like AI assisted agency, which is at go.clientessentials.com. First link in the description. That goes to an opt-in page. People put their name, email, and phone number in that page. That takes them to a VSL page. This has a VSL, and then there's a button right here that pops up an application application, and then that gets info, and then that goes to a call. So we collect emails here, and then I sometimes also push people with ads, either to the opt-in page or directed to the VSL page, but the application also gets an email. So all of these emails all lead to my email list. And then list kit is ads to opt-in, to VSL, to application, to call. And then again, we also get emails here, which is the email list. That goes there, that goes there. So CA has like 25,000 people on the email list. List kit has like 100,000 people. It would be more, but we remove unengaged people. That's what this is at. That's what this is at. Now, what we do is 2 to 6, sometimes 7 emails per week that push to either more YouTube, which goes back to the funnel, or back to the VSL page, which goes back to a call, make them a client. That's how this works. And we're very consistent with it. Again, consistent. We always send the emails. It's a process. It gets done. It just goes. Okay, now over at ListKit, we do weekly demos live. So this is actually a webinar. So we get people on. So normally this is to the email list. We send the email list to this, and then that goes to get them to book a call and then gets them to become a client. We do this weekly to the email list. And then for client ascension, what we're about to do, it hasn't been implemented yet at the time of this filming, but we're going to do weekly cold traffic webinars for AI assisted agency. So these are going to be ads only. So ads excluding warm traffic to webinar, to call, to client. That's going to be weekly. And then what's going to happen here, which is going to bring me to the next point, is I think we're on point 3, is human capital. So for instance, now with this, it's I'm running webinars, and then I'm going to have students running webinars for me. So we're going to take some of my successful students. I want to make a funnel for them. I want to make a webinar for them. I want to push ad spend behind it. They're going to conduct the webinar. They're going to get paid for the sales that come through their webinar. They didn't risk any of their money. All they do is use their time, and they get paid to do that. I'm using human capital. Again, this is from successful students, high IQ people, and they're going to get commission. They might make fucking $10,000 plus. That's what you got to pay for this. Next, I think we're on point 4, is client case studies. And this can be interviews, documents, and you just want to house them somewhere, because what you want to do is you want to take these, you want to put them in email flows, like pre-call sequences, opt-in sequences, post-call sales assets. You want to use this as marketing collateral that you're sending to prospects or people who booked a call yet. Now, if you go onto my channel and then you go to my playlist on my channel and then you click the case studies one, I constantly post those all the time. Like, I'm always posting case studies. Like, what am I doing with those? I'm interweaving those into email flows and sending it to my email list. And what I actually do is make them retargeting ads. I upload those as ads and retarget people who are leads already, so they see all those. Then I want to quickly talk about more processes. Going back to like this webinar thing. So say it's like weekly webinars from 1, Daniel, and then 2, student 1, 3, student 2. So this is like a process. This is like the webinar process. What that means is there's a lot of shit to do with this, where it's like 1, webinar setup in Zoom, all the email flows set up, ads set up. Let's say you had like 2 to 3 per week just for different people. Like, that's a lot of like shit to be happening. So what would that mean? It means that you would need a person to own this process. You want somebody who's in charge of doing all of this, and then they can be compensated by a performance. Why is it important to compensate somebody like this who's maybe just like doing the tech stuff or whatever via performance? And the answer is because if they're getting compensated via performance, they're going to come up with shit to maximize the fuck out of each one, right? And if it's compensated via percentage, it's always variable. So it's like you're never going to end up paying them more in relation to what you've made. It's always going to be, if they make more, you also make more. So it's really important to do this. They'll just come up with shit. They might find that if we put this person over here on this day and we run ads for this person while also simultaneously running the ads for this person, it actually attracts these 2 different people. But if we do this one and we position this one like this, we position this one like this, it actually gets way more, and we're able to get way more out of it. But the problem with running these 2 at the same time is that there's an overlapping audience, and then like therefore it splits the 2 and it makes both make less money. You get what I'm saying? Like you come up with shit like that. That's what this person will like be analyzing and figuring it out, because they want to make more money, and it'll also make you more money. Now, the last point I'm going to put here is step by step, 1 by 1. So you've heard me say all sorts of stuff. You got to get CSM, you got to get salespeople, you got to get marketing people, you got to have different offers, you got to do Dream 100, cold email, ads, YouTube, webinars. And this is all overwhelming. It's too much. It's too much to do at once. You watch this video, you're like, wow, Daniel, that's a tremendous amount of shit to do. I don't know if I can do all that shit. And the answer is like, yeah, you probably fucking can't do all of that in a couple months. This is why this is a multiple year process. You do things one by one. You need patience. It just takes time to do this. And obviously I can help you do this. So I have 2 things. For 1, if you're just getting started or above 30K a month, you should go to AI Assisted Agency, which is the first link in the description. description. We will show you what to sell, who to sell it to, how to get clients, how to fulfill the service with AI, how to get to 30K a month plus profit. I'm not guaranteeing you hit that. You can be a complete fucking retard and not be able to do anything, but it's a really good product. There's hundreds of people in it. You should go check it out. That's the first link in the description, go.clientascension.ai. Now this, if you're above 30K a month, is Olympia. This is our mastermind. We show you how to build funnels for your offer, how to run ads for it, how to build a 10K plus offer and close cold traffic on it, how to build a sales team, how to build a fulfillment team so you can scale to 100K to 250K a month plus, just like us. So 2 links in the description. AI assisted agency. This is if you're just getting started, or if you're above 30K a month, Olympia. That's our mastermind. Olympia also includes quarterly in-person events. It includes one-on-one calls with me. I'll help you write ads. I'll help you make your funnel. We have a tremendous amount of case studies for both of these. You can go to Daniel Fazio YouTube channel and playlist case studies, and you can watch all of those, and you can go click the links in the description, and we can make a lot of money together, hopefully. If you got some value for this, leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share it with people. Go click the share button, throw it in your Slack channels or your Discords or your group chats or whatever. All right, that's it. Love you. Peace. Bye.